I'm Logan. Thanks for bringing me over to the studio, Keith.
Oh, no problem at all, Logan. It's great to have you.
The love is in the air today, isn't it?
It certainly is, yeah. It's Valentine's Day. We should tell people it's Valentine's Day because they might be listening to this in a year's time and not know what day it is. So that's important, isn't it?
Okay, it's Valentine's Day, 14th February 2020, Friday, and you're listening to Logan Kelly and Keith Walsh. As you know, I am age 8, and I love bands like Gorillaz, Primus, Stiff Little Fingers, The Clash, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Nirvana. When you were 8, what did you listen to?
Oh, when I was 8, what did I listen to? Probably something like Nana Muscuri or something. Whatever my parents... Do you know Nana Muscuri?
Not a clue.
My parents were very big into country music and let's say middle of the road music. So our music collection at home was either stuff my parents had, like Dolly Parton, or maybe.
Yeah.
Do you know Dolly? Yeah.
Yeah. 9 to 5.
Excellent knowledge.
Snapping your fingers.
Yeah, a bit of Dolly Parton, or there could have been a bit of old country music. My dad might have been into more folky country music as well.
My taste in country kind of stuff would be Glen Campbell.
Glen Campbell, yeah, perfect. I would have listened to Glen Campbell when I was young, and then my sisters were probably into pop music, so we would have had sort of pop collection records that I would have listened to as well.
Would Dolly Parton be kind of that kind of way?
Kind of, yeah. But we were sort of a weird family. We would listen to ABBA and stuff like that. We were into singing and that kind of stuff. So we were into musicals, and we'd have had listened to Jesus Christ Superstar, the album, that kind of stuff. So I wasn't as cool as you.
When I think about you, I think that's basically the exact same, just different style of music. Now, what age were you when you knew you wanted to be a DJ, and who or what inspired you?
Well, when I was very, very young, myself and my friends, mostly my friend, had a radio. He set up a little radio studio station in his garage in Athlone in Willow Park. And my job was to go cycle around on my bike to the houses to collect the...
Oh, and ask requests.
Ask for requests. You've heard the story already. So that was my interest in that. And myself and another friend, we used to record ourselves into a little tape. Do you know what a tape recorder is?
Yeah. I've got one.
Have you? Brilliant.
Well, then I know it.
We used to record ourselves into a tape recorder and do little sketches and skits and try and be funny. And then I would have grown up listening to, I suppose, the likes of Jerry Ryan, and I suppose Gay Byrne would have always been on. And then
the legendary Gay Byrne.
The legendary Gay Byrne. And then as I got older, I would have listened to people like Chris Evans and BBC, and they would have inspired me to get into radio. I just liked radio. It seemed like good crack.
Okay. Well, you're the exact same as me then. How do you prepare for a show?
Oh, well, I don't know if I'm odd, but I might be a bit different. I like to...
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine with me. Anything to do with DJing. You're me.
You're good with it. I like to go for... This might sound strange. I like to go for a run or a big long walk. So when I get to RTE, I will come in, dump my bag, and then head off, stick my runners on. I'll head off either for a run or a walk. And I find that when I'm walking or running, I can go through everything in my head that I need to talk about, and it just sort of puts me in a good mood, gets me ready to go on air, and I'm able to sort out and filter out all the stuff I need for the show, the stuff I don't need for the show. So I'm focused. I have a clear head. I feel energized because I've been out, I've been exercising. I come back to RTE, have a shower, and then I go upstairs and go through the papers and go through all the stuff I need for the show. I know it sounds weird, but the most important part of me getting ready for my show is not the music or the papers or the information, is going for the walk first.
Keith?
Yes?
I got you.
Good. Loud and clear.
Do you want to take a quick break?
We'll take a quick break, and then you have to say, we'll be back after these.
We'll be back after this. And we're back. My Uncle Graham, who's done a number of radio interviews.
Yeah. Graham Hopkins?
Yeah.
Oh, in Homme.
I'm
putting on my glasses now, so we are exactly the same.
Okay. Said it is important that the interviewer does their research. How do you prepare when you're going to interview someone?
Ooh.
Similar to the next question.
A lot of the time I'd use the internet. So I just look up other interviews they've done, or I would go onto Wikipedia, or I would use sort of information websites. I Google their names and try and find out stuff, and then you sort of cross-reference, so you make sure that this stuff is true, so you see if you can see it anywhere else. A lot of the time I work on shows where you have producers and researchers, and they would do a lot of the research for you. So sometimes if you're doing a show, like if I'm covering for Jennifer Zamparelli on her show, a lot of the research and information will be given to me, so I just have to read it the night before or the morning when I come in. So but it's always good to do your research, and I find that you do all the research and you go to the interview with all the information, and you have all the information. And sometimes the interview, if it's a good interview, you mightn't even need any of the information. You just go with it and enjoy it in the moment, you know.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine with me.
Okay, good.
I see you've done TV work.
Yes.
How do you find it compared to being a DJ?
Well, television is peculiar because if you're a presenter on the television, you're kind of the least important. It's probably a strange thing to say and for people to hear, but you're the least important person. Because with television, the lighting is more important, the cameras are more important, what the director wants to happen and what the scriptwriters need you to say. They're all more important. So you kind of come in at the last minute when everything's set up, when the lighting man is happy, when the cameraman is happy that the lighting is properly done, and they, okay, Keith, jump in there. You've got 2 minutes to get this right. So you have to be prepared. You have to be ready to go. You've got 2 minutes. You have to know your lines. You have to say what you have to say, and then get out of their way because they have to set up for the next shot. So it's weird when you're on radio. You've got everything. You're in charge.
Yeah, you've got all the papers around you. Where you're on TV, you're sitting there going, okay, so what do I have to do now?
Yeah, but you're just in. You've literally got 2 minutes to do your job, and if you don't get it right the first few times, you know the cameramen start rolling their eyes and they get really annoyed. So you have to be. It's different. It's a bit more pressure, you know.
I won't ask you which do you prefer, but
go on. Sorry. Which do I prefer? I think radio. Yeah, I've mostly worked in radio, so I think I prefer that.
Well, I totally agree.
You agree, of course you do.
I totally do.
Have you ever done any telly?
I've been on the telly, but never done proper telly work.
So it's mostly radio you do?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got about 4 mixtapes at the house, so...
That's more than I had at 8 years of age. You're already ahead of me.
Yeah.
Are you going to take my job?
Could do.
I knew this was a bad idea.
Well, you've got to lose your job first.
Well...
That's probably not going to happen.
Well...
I listened to you last week and you were really... That's probably going to happen when you're older.
Yes, fingers crossed. I'm not going to cry. Everything's fine. I'm only kidding with you.
Okay, whatever. As a young, inspiring DJ, what tips and advice would you have for me and others like me?
Well, the thing I always say to people, young people, is you should try and get as much information as you can about the job and take all the advice. So you got to talk to Dave Fanning earlier, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Did he give you any advice?
He gave me the frequency. That's all the advice he gave me.
Well, you need the frequency because you have to say that when you're on air. So that's a good
Yeah.
tip. Always mention the frequency.
No, I mean, he gave me the frequency of his show.
Oh, okay. Well, right. Well,
that's all we really talked about on
but
tips.
that's all Dave talks about. Is tells people about his own show and tells them to tune in. That's all he talks about.
You might not want to listen to this then.
He's just trying to get more listeners. He won't be listening to this. He'll be somewhere talking about his own show. So the best advice is to get all the advice and listen to everything everyone has to say to you about radio, and then you kind of have to, with all that advice, you kind of have to do whatever you want anyway. Do you get me? You kind of have to go with your own gut instinct, get all the information, hear what everyone has to say to you, and everyone. If you get into radio, people will have lots of advice for you. Take it all on board. Get rid of the stuff you don't need, and kind of just do what you want.
Now, I've just got an added question in there when you were talking about Dave Fanning. When, let's say, daytime, you would be listening to, like, I don't know, Billie Eilish, Ariana Grande, that you were playing in your show earlier today.
Yeah. Chart music.
Yeah. You'd be listening to kind of like chart or pop music. Why is it then, at the end of the day, people would be listening to, like, oldies music kind of stuff? Like
you're talking about maybe the Dave Fannings and the John Creedons and the Dan Hegartys, they come on. And
Dan Hegarty's okay.
The Tara Stewarts, and they come on, they don't play chart music, they play something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Maybe alternative or rock, or they have a bit more...
or folk. I've heard folk on John Creedon.
Yeah, John loves us. He's got a great taste in music.
Oh, yeah.
Folk, punk, anything. The thing is, there's a saying in radio, ratings by day, reputation by night. Do you know what that means? So during the day, you're going to play the songs that most people listening to the radio will enjoy. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
there's a phrase called lowest common denominator that you might learn when you're doing maths in school. You can ask your teacher what that means. And basically, you're playing songs that are doing well in the chart. So if Billie Eilish is number one, you're going to play that song because you know if it's number one, lots of people like it. Okay, so between 7 and 7, that's where you get your ratings. That's where you get most people listening. So you want the most amount of people listening to your radio station during the day, 7 to 7. After 7 o'clock, doesn't matter as much, and that's where you get your reputation. So that's where you get to play stuff where you're going, we recommend this to you if you're interested in music. So you get more a discerning listener then in the evening, and that's why it's slightly different, you know.
If this is put on the internet, I want everybody to know something.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean if you're making a radio station not to print out about 20 Billboard charts to see which one the most people will like.
You should find out what music people like. It's very important. And do you know why? Because a lot of radio stations are run on advertising, and the ratings are important for the advertisers, and that's how we make our money. And then once we make our money between 7 and 7, then we can have fun after 7 o'clock. So then that's where Dan Hegarty gets to have the crack, and John Creedon, they get to play whatever they want.
Oh, John Creedon gets the crack, all right.
Yes,
I'm listening to him for an hour going, oh, there's John Denver with Homegrown Tomatoes, and I'm going, didn't he have a never happy ending? Yeah, so there's memories brung by that lad.
Oh, there is, because you'd be listening to his show and you'd be thinking of all sorts of things.
Yeah, like I was probably listening, I was thinking of You Keep It All In when he said, tonight we have the beautiful South, the la-di-da-di-da. When I heard the beautiful South, I just went, keep it all in. That's my song.
It's a great song, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big fan of the beautiful South. The Housemartins before them, of course.
I seen on a video actually.
Yeah.
That your favourite album was Pixies Trompe Le Monde.
Oh, wow.
The Stone Roses.
Yeah.
And then the Housemartins.
Yes, the Housemartins. Was it the people who grinned themselves to death? It's a very good album. And then who else came from the Housemartins? So we had Paul Heaton from the beautiful South, and then we had Fatboy Slim.
Oh, Fatboy Slim.
Norman Cook was in, he was in the Housemartins as well. So there you go, you see. You're learning.
That's
what John Creedon does. He teaches people about the music, doesn't he?
Yeah, you learn everything every day, especially with Keith Walsh. Now, our ending, thanks Keith, and if you're ever in Clane, join me in the LKR radio.
Oh, what does LKR stand for?
LKR stands for Logan Kelly Records Radio.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant.
So now,
thanks very much, Logan.